Fear has to do with punishment. And whoever fears has not been perfected in love. In other words, where there is love, there cannot be fear at the same time. That when you create an atmosphere of love, that a child who is afraid to step into a dream, or a child that's afraid to try something new, when you create an atmosphere of love, it begins to push out the fear that would hold them back from chasing. See, when you create an atmosphere of love and acceptance and passion and enthusiasm and honesty, dreams can begin to be realized. And that child that might have been afraid to try will then step into something that they've never done before. Because they understand there's an environment of love that they can try and they can fail, and it won't change the way that they're loved. Why? Because love is not based on a person's past or their performance. See, when love is based upon a past performance or the past of a person or the past of a student, they hardly ever grow out of that. I was speaking with a teacher just after this past service, and he was telling me a story of a young man that all the other teachers told him that you're going to want to kick this kid out of your class. It's trouble. It's been nothing but trouble for years. And he made a decision. He just made a conscious decision that he was going to try to love this kid the best he could. So all through high school, he just kept loving this kid, and it was difficult. He had to remove him from the classroom multiple times. But after a period of time, the kid finally started to respond. He said on graduation day, this young man yelled his name across the stadium for graduation. Big football player type kid. Picked him up, swung him around, and said, "Thank you so much. Thank you so much for what you did in my life." And he was standing with the other teachers that told him to kick this kid out of his class. And they said, "What in the world is that all about?" And he explained to them the story. And they said, "We noticed something changed in that young man's life. He was a different kid in class all year." And they said, "Oh, it must have been because of what you did." See, when we choose to just love a child, when we choose to love a student, when we choose to love a kid, not based on what they've done or based on the performance they've had, when we just love them and create an environment where they can feel loved, it changes everything. In 1 Corinthians chapter 13, it's often referred to as the love chapter. And we love to read this at weddings, and it's amazing, and it's all true. But we oftentimes skip the first 3 verses because it doesn't really fit a wedding setting. But the first 3 verses really lean into the attitude behind why we love the way we love and why God loves us the way He does. And so in verse 1 through 3 it says this: "If I speak in the tongues of men and angels and have not love, then I'm just a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal." In other words, that I could speak with all the eloquence, I could speak with the literal words of God Himself, and if I do that, I'm really just a clanging sound. I'm an annoying sound to you if I don't love you first. It's why as a church we choose to love people regardless of what you think or what you believe or who you are or what church you go to or what church you don't go to. We believe that love has to be first. And then it continues and says, well, if I have prophetic powers, if I can see things before they happen, if I can speak prophetically into something, and I can understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and I know everything, and I have all the degrees to back it up, and if I have all the faith so as I can move mountains with my faith, and I have not love, then I am nothing. That even if I know everything, and I have all the degrees to prove it, and I can say things that will blow your mind, and I can prove everybody else wrong, but if I don't love you first, then I am nothing. And if I give away all that I have, if I'm the most generous person that you've ever met in their entire life, and I'm willing to sacrifice, and even if I deliver up my body to be burned, in other words, even if I'm willing to be martyred for what I believe, and for what I understand, but I have not love, then I have gained nothing. In other words, you have to lead with love.